Jessie O'Brien was a young and happy mother of her 10-month-old baby girl. She and her husband were happily married, financially stable, and excited about their future. With a new job and promising salary, they anticipated paying off student loans and buying a home. Then came an unexpected pregnancy. Jessie became anxious. She already had her hands full and dreaded having to tell her boss. Going from 1 to 2 so soon was very daunting, she recalled. After experiencing similar symptoms to her first pregnancy, she and her husband decided to terminate it. You're still very aware that your body is aborting a fetus, she said. At first, she felt relieved, but in time, the regret crept in. Now, 8 years later, she finds it painful to speak about the abortion and is haunted by what could have been. Abortion is an inhumane, immoral, and depraved practice. Since Roe v. Wade in 1973, abortion has deeply affected the United States on an individual, societal, and moral level. Unless eradicated, it will continue to strip this nation of its virtues and moral foundation. The effects of abortion on individuals. Abortion leaves lasting effects, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Physically, women face risks such as hemorrhaging, infection, and long-term reproductive damage. Emotionally, many women suffer from what is often termed post-abortion stress syndrome, or PASS for short, with symptoms of regret, anxiety, and depression lasting years. Jessie O'Brien's story is not unique. Maria Lopez, a college student, chose abortion to protect her future. Yet, years later, she described the decision as a wound that never healed. Feelings of worthlessness and isolation followed her, typical of women who regret the choice. Men suffer as well, though their pain is often ignored. When they are excluded from the decision-making process, their emotional health and moral agency are dismissed. Travis, a 33-year-old man, faced this pain when his girlfriend chose abortion after a brief discussion. Though he agreed it wasn't the right time, he was left with a deep sense of loss and confusion, wondering, am I not good enough to be the father of your baby? Men like Travis face grief, shame, and helplessness, yet their voices go unheard, their rights non-existent. The law offers them no say. More than anything, abortion ends the life of a fully human, image-bearing child. Scripture is clear. In Jeremiah 1, verse 5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." Genesis 1:27 reminds us that mankind is created in God's image. Abortion does not remove tissue. It destroys a life that God himself crafted with purpose. The effects of abortion on society. Abortion has societal consequences far beyond the individual. Across the globe, countries with high abortion rates now face collapsing birth rates and aging populations, problems crippling economies and healthcare systems. In the U.S., fewer children means weaker communities and fading family structures. The normalization of abortion reveals a society prioritizing personal convenience over collective responsibility. Family, once the core of society, is dissolving. At the heart of this is the collapse of fatherhood. Sexual carelessness has skyrocketed, and men are largely to blame. Too often, they abandon responsibility, leaving women to bear the burden of pregnancy and the decision alone. Teen pregnancy rates, such as Mississippi's 27.9 for 1,000 girls aged 15 to 19, reflect this growing irresponsibility. Men need consequences. The current system lets them off the hook entirely. One proposal is to fine the man the cost of parental care, $5,000 to $15,000. Another, monthly child support style payments, or even punitive fines for coercion or abandonment. Discipline, not merely encouragement, is the answer. In cases of non-consensual acts or abandoned pregnancies, incarceration. 5 to 10 years first offenders would send a clear message. Justice demands that men take responsibility for their actions. Abortion also damages relationships. When women bear the entire burden of the decision, relationships lose trust and balance. Parenthood becomes a private, not shared responsibility. Emotional fallout spreads beyond individuals to the culture at large, weakening the very notion of sacrificial love and mutual responsibility. Abortion isn't just a medical procedure. It reshapes the moral architecture of intimacy and commitment in an entire generation. The effects of abortion on morality. Morally, abortion opposes the core values of a just and righteous society. Psalm 139, verses 13 through 14, tells us that God forms every life with care and intent. To destroy that life is to interrupt a divine act. The sixth commandment, "You shall not murder," applies without exception to the unborn. The early church knew this, as seen in ancient Christian texts like the Didache. To accept abortion is to reject the very foundation of moral law. Proverbs 31, verses 8 through 9, commands believers to speak for the voiceless. The unborn cannot speak, and if Christians fail to defend them, they betray their own principles. If society does not view life as sacred from the womb, then no life is safe from moral compromise. Our American founding principles declare that all are created equal, with the unalienable right to life. Abortion violates this foundational truth. To end abortion, we must confront its root causes. Education is key. Many women do not fully understand what happens in an abortion clinic. Abby Johnson, a former clinic director, believed in abortion until she witnessed a 13-week-old fetus fighting against the vacuum used in the procedure. She resigned that day. Her story, told and unplanned, proves that truth and exposure change minds. In the end, abortion is not a matter of personal choice. It is a matter of life and death. It is the silent extermination of the innocent, the unraveling of moral conviction, and the breakdown of the family and society itself. No civilized nation can long endure while it permits, justifies, or turns a blind eye to the destruction of its most vulnerable. We were not made to be a people who sacrifice our children for convenience, ambition, or fear. We were made to protect, to nurture, and to uphold the sacredness of life with unwavering resolve. A culture that kills its own future cannot expect to have one. If we are to reclaim our moral bearings and rebuild a society grounded in truth, justice, and virtue, then abortion must be abolished, fully, finally, and without compromise. The soul of our nation depends on it.